Good morning, legends. Happy public holiday if you're in Australia. Up nice and early this morning. Bit of high blood sugars actually, but that's another story. I think an infected hand, but it was well worth it because I have fixed this bad boy. New forks on, new chain, new bits and bobs. But I spent a fair bit of last week talking to Doug Masiuk from Outrun Diabetes, and if you don't know, he's running from Perth to Sydney. That's right, running. So what an incredible story and an amazing human. But I actually missed out on Saturday making his send-off because I was in the emergency department with a split open hand, so that's another story. But we snuck up on him yesterday on the road. He was actually out on the Great Eastern Highway just near the York turn-off, so it was great to sit down, have a bit of a chat with him. He was delighted to see us sort of sneak up on him like that. But follow his journey, because these guys that do these things, and I know myself from personal experience, it's a tough gig, man. They need support. The support in all forms. So his phone blew up on the first day, one of his crew has to leave to go home, so all of these things, they're just little things that make the campaign so much tougher. But get behind what he's doing, please share it. If you watch this video, of course, share that, because there's a lot of insights into what Doug does, what he goes through. We talk a little bit about what it means to be an ultra endurance athlete, but also managing that with type 1, the voice that allows him to help use to inspire the community. So he's doing amazing things. I really believe in getting behind that. But look, I've got some gardening to do and a video to finish editing, thus you're seeing it now. Peace out and enjoy the week. Alright, legends, it is Sunday morning, and after an absolutely rubbish day yesterday where I smashed up my hand, I missed catching up with Doug as he started his run out from City Beach. So we're out on the Great Eastern Highway now, and I'm hoping to surprise him. I'm hoping to catch up with him, pull up next to him running, and to give you an idea, he ran from City Beach to Mundaring, or I think Sawyers Valley yesterday, 50k, man. It's just epic. Anyway, we're going to pull up next to him and we're going to have a bit of a chat, and then he'll be on his way. So hope you enjoy this week's video. This is Doug Masiuk, outrundiabetes.org.
Did you?
Hey man.
Wait.
Yeah, shake it very gently. I'm basically stitched up. What a legend.
Oh my god.
Alright guys, so after a bit of a tough day yesterday, and I'm talking more on Doug's behalf than mine.
No, it's your bad. I don't have any stitches.
We have caught up with the man. He is about 55, what are you, 55, 60, no, maybe 70 k's out of Perth now.
That I don't know, but we're 40 miles in, so
yeah.
I'm still a Yankee in that regard. So I'm still thinking miles.
I was tracking you yesterday, and I thought, man, he's done more than 10 kilometers. Hang on, that's 10 miles. But yeah. We're out at the lakes. We're out at the turn off to York. But how are you feeling, man?
More or less good. You know, it's just footsteps. There's some footsteps are better than others, and I slept great last night, and yeah, we already got 8 miles in for the morning, so incredible. 22 more to go. So incredible. Yeah. So tell us about your first day. I mean, you left from City Beach. I was watching from the emergency department. I was watching the live video that I said I would shoot for you. And then you called yesterday morning, or texting and messaging, and someone came through in a hurry in a great way from the Type 1 run crew, and it was amazing. They were able to figure it out, and so we were able to display like that, and then we had a good turnout. Some people from Nike, I think there's like flash uniforms, some other interesting people from the Type 1 Family Diabetes Center. So yeah, we had a great turnout, and some of those people ran with me the first couple miles, and first 5 miles. And when I woke up, my sugar was high.
I was going to ask that question, because we have this sort of mental plan. I know when I left Perth, I was like, I'm going to wake up, blood sugar's going to be in the zone, everything's going to be ready to go, ready to run. It wasn't. Everything fell apart. Blood sugar was the first thing.
Yeah, my anxiety was what it was, and that always adds to it, a lack of sleep, just overworked, anxious, all of that. And my sugar was like just under 300 yesterday morning.
So for the Aussies, that is, divide that by 18 and you'll get our
I didn't know that's how that worked. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
wow.
Millimole per litre.
I never knew.
So fairly high. So what was your decision? Do you think I'm going to run that down, or I'm going to take some insulin and then bring it down? Or
I dosed on it to bring it down. I also know I needed to eat. I also knew it was artificial, and that when you're talking about hormones, you're talking about nerves, you're talking about things like that. Sometimes it's good to be a little bit patient with it, because it'll correct itself, rather than to throw a bunch of insulin on it. But I did throw some. Typically a unit will cover me for 60, 70 points. So I hit it with 5 units, which should have gotten me in range, and it did. And then at our first break at 5-6 miles in, when those first runners broke off from us, I tested 51. So it just
came down
the
like
floor.
A rocket.
And then I drank some juice on it, ate a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then I didn't correct for that. It got just below 200 eventually, and then after that it just settled down and basically hung out at like 70 to 120 all day long. So
you hit that rhythm, hey, and I call that like the sort of my rhythm. Once those, and we wake up, sometimes that's just it, high stress, high anxiety, especially in the first day of a big campaign. It's a bit bumpy. But once you get into that rhythm and you know where it's at, you've trained like that countless times, you've done the miles before, it kind of works itself out, and the rest is on task. Focus on the job at hand.
well, and to that point too, it's there's being proactive and there's being reactive, and sometimes if you have that perspective, you should also be a little bit patient. Because if you know that and what that feels like, and you have that track record, you can evaluate and say, well, let's sit here for an hour and let's see what's starting to actually take place. Because you can always add insulin, but you can never take insulin away.
That's it.
And then if you're trying to fix those lows, that means you're just piling more sugar on it, and then you're just creating, I think, a bad precedent for that instance. But and then also the hills over in Perth too, the heat started coming up and just continued to plod through. So the goal yesterday was initially like 29 miles, and I don't know, at the end of the day, after running through the hills, the wind, everything else, it started getting cooler. We finished up with 31 and a half miles, which is good mentally and psychologically. So.
And you ran up Green Mount Hill. For anyone that's not from Perth, it's a much bigger hill than people think. It just seems to keep on going up.
Oh, it's just gnarly. It just does its thing, and doesn't want to let go.
It literally it runs all the way up to Mundaring. It's a pretty notorious hill. It's not a mountain, but it's certainly when you've just run right across Perth's metropolitan area, and then you hit that hill.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is that outside of Mundaring was a swimming pool, and my crew knocked on the door, and they're like, "Hey, it's hot out, and we're running across Australia," and they say, "Oh, wow, that's a big deal." So they let us take a dip in the pool. So
nice.
You talk about running, you talk about all this work. We stopped and had a great lunch in a park. I forget what part of the city, but I think Bayswater, and then Yeah, we went swimming and just kept on running. But at the swimming pool, my crew met a local person. And they were just asking about us and what we're doing, and they said, well, rather than sleeping on the side of the road at RV park, you're more than welcome to stay in our yard. And they were just, now we're family. Like
Amazing.
we're best friends.
Yeah.
But the real cool thing about that is that their neighbor has a type 1 son that was 16, Ruben, and
Yeah.
Ruben and his family were out and about, but they they tracked us down, and we got a knock on the door at 8:45 last night, and it was Ruben and his family. And
Incredible.
they would never guess, like, this guy
Yeah.
running across Australia is going to be sleeping in my neighbor's yard, and I'm going to get a phone call on Australia Day to say, hey, come meet this guy. So, and that's what this is about in a lot of ways, because I think that's a big deal for me and a big deal for them too.
It's huge, and that's the thing. These are the things that you don't see before you leave, and I realised when I was on the road as well, is just that connection with the local communities. It's raising awareness for type 1 diabetes and what you are capable of doing despite living with that, and it's engaging with the kids. And I remember every stop that I made, that I met all of these people. It was just an incredible experience. So yeah, I'm with you on that. It's going to be awesome as you run across Australia. You're going to have people ask you, you're going to tell them. It's just going to continue to build on that awareness for people.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're on day 2 now, and how much food are you going through so far? What's your caloric intake? Not that I focus on calories, it's really eat before you're hungry. And
so like when you just pulled up, I was eating like a massive egg sandwich. I'll probably eat another banana before heading out. So I don't know, but about 6,000 calories. But I hopped on the scale yesterday, and there's no perspective here, but it's like 130 pounds in kilos. I don't know, but and then this morning it was 129, and that was hydrated. So it's already, you start hemorrhaging weight. So it's a good reminder right off the get-go to eat, but you'll just develop better muscle and just stronger, more powerful. So it's
the body completely reconfigures itself. Like I had baggy lycra. Who even has that? I had baggy lycra when I got halfway across Australia, and it doesn't matter what your nutritional strategy is, what your plan is. It's almost impossible to end the day in a positive balance when it comes to eating food. You just can't. You simply can't eat enough. It's how your body's able to function, and making the right choices when you need to make them. And the key element for me was hydration was really one of the first and most significant things. But you just got to balance it well.
Exactly. And it's to that point too, as you're talking about the eating aspect, and you're exercising and you're putting forth these efforts, but you look at it in the lens, in the context of having a broken pancreas. So I mean, that really is not something I not exaggerate or scream and yell about, but when we're talking about in this moment, it really gets me thinking that it's, you eat X calories, this amount of sugar, here's the carbs, and okay, so your sugar shoots off and you're not going to correct. Can you outpace it with running, and at what point does that happen? And then in that moment, with the heat and the stress, will keep that sugar up and not let your exercise really start doing damage and undercutting that rise in that blood glucose. And those are the things to be sensitive towards. But also, you do need to eat, and you need to eat a lot, because it's 31 miles and it's hot outside and it's windy and hilly. So
it's just that it's the human body is being pushed beyond what it's normally supposed to do, really.
Exactly.
It's more than capable of it, but it's just making those choices, and it's all the strategizing that goes in beforehand. But that's one thing I think we're predisposed to as living with type 1, is pretty well being an on-the-run strategizer. We're able to kind of quickly think, because hey, I realised out there that my health was always making those decisions on the run.
Yeah.
So awesome, man. So you're feeling good today. Your things will settle down, and you'll be back on the road. And there's a few undulations ahead, but your target today, it's another 40 something kilometers away.
Yeah, about that. I'm gonna get the town wrong, but Northam, I think, or
Northam. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Northam. So, just up the hill or down the road, or around the bend, or up the highway. So, and one thing that we're contending with too, it's we're bringing another crew member in.
Yeah.
Also, huge technology. So much sweat, just beating and abuse. Phone blew up on us yesterday, and with all these things, we talk about the context of diabetes, and we talk about what it means to run this much, or just simply as a pursuit of an activity. And before we started recording, we got into like the logistical side of stuff, and that's a big part of the art in these things, is being able to do that and pull that off and make that work. And it's a struggle, and it's support makes something like this possible, and it's something we can't do alone. And every time you go another 30 miles, you need to spend money on food and then gas for a vehicle, and motorhome RV fees. So
it's basically everything you've said hits home with me 110%, because I looked at the budget I've had, and trying to bring a campaign together is probably a massive part of the deal. By the time you actually get to the start line, and we were saying this just before, that you've already come through so much. There's already so much that you've had to sort of work out. So by the time you're actually ready as go time, it's, a lot of the problems have already been overcome. And you were saying before about, the running part being the easier part. I felt the same with the ride. Sure, it's still tough, still super hard, but the motion, one pedal, next, one pedal, one footstep. You're just running forward. You're in that motion. Your body knows what it's got to do. But these things, that come out of nowhere, like mechanicals and issues that really put a dent in the campaign, are difficult to navigate. That's a whole part of the deal.
Oh, really challenging. It's something that goes on to serve something greater. To put something on a map. To inspire and motivate others to be a part of that. And it's not glamorous. It's you don't do this for fame or to get wealthy, but you still feel as if you need to leave a mark on it.
Yeah.
Maybe not to an individual, but in the name of diabetes. And if you're able to recruit support, you can do it. And if you can't,
that's it.
The plane goes back down. So
support is everything.
What's that? Yeah.
Support is everything. It makes these things happen, and we're going to do that for you when we go back to Perth. We're going to really, everyone that's watching this, please network, please get behind outrundiabetes.org, get behind Doug, support what he's doing in any way possible, because the support makes these things happen. We don't get out on the road by ourselves. It really does come down to some community support. So look, man, I'm going to let you keep running, because if I hold you down all day, you won't make it to Northam, and I will talk all day.
This is a lot more comfortable than running too, so I like to sit in this chain here and just chat. So absolutely. So
sorry about yesterday. Super stoked we drove 10 kilometers past you, but we've now found you, so super stoked we caught up today.
Me too. This is a beautiful surprise this morning. And
we're going to stay friends forever. I'm going to
keep
talking. We're going to, when you go back to the States, we'll keep in contact. But my family, everyone around us, we're all behind you. The Perth community is buzzing yesterday after seeing you off. So all the best, my friend, and I'd shake your hand. But
we'll do hugs instead, because cool.
All right,
awesome. Thanks.
See you, mate. Alright, so we just finished talking to these legends who are about to set off. Jump behind what Doug's doing. It's absolutely next level. They need all the support they can get. It's not just running, like I said, it's not just cycling, it's not just doing these things. And who's this guy? He's just snuck into
Hey,
the
mate.
camera again. How you going? I'll shake your hand very gently
Yeah.
because I'm stitched up. Jamie's come out to say good day, so and I'm just on the mad rush home.
Birthdays.
Got to my son's birthday, so peace out, people. Follow Doug. See you next week.
Was diagnosed as a 3-year-old in 1977. So I've lived with type 1 for 40 plus years. I'm 44 years old and I live in the US. And I'm preparing on January 26th to have my feet in the Indian Ocean, leave City Beach Park in Perth, and start running towards the Pacific in Sydney, Australia. You know, I've run across the United States, run across the North American continent, and I've also cycled across the North American continent. You know, I have a tendency, I can be quiet about stuff, but you know, my gift is my feet, my gift is my ability to go far with those feet. But I also have type 1, and if I'm able to share with others, you know, what diabetes can look like, what it can mean, maybe some of the struggles, how you can overcome, and then something on a very sticky, attractive way, and then it gets people's attention, then lend your voice to it. You know, don't be shy, and you don't know how that'll inspire others. Every day I'll be running for someone with diabetes that's reached out to us and wants me to run for them for whatever that reason. Diabetes loves routine. It likes that structure, it just thrives in it. And you start messing with routine, things get wonky and weird. Sometimes diabetes just has a mind of its own and does what it wants at that moment. So be patient, you know, and ask for help if you need help, no matter how old you are. I think we also get very insulated and defensive about the managing of our condition. But you got teams around you, you got family that loves you, you have these great resources. So saying, diabetes stunk today, I need help. What's wrong with that? I don't do that readily, but you know what? It's okay to remind people that you can. Sure, well, and you know what? After this one, I mean, there is a place called Antarctica, so maybe we should ride bikes there.
Let's do it.